Okay. Are you able to see my screen now?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's kind of walk through, and just for the simplicity part of it, we'll keep this entirely in English because most of the people would give the exam in English. Okay. So let's kind of start off. So this is your first question.
Objective for a mission, critical information. In retrospective, a heated disagreement erupts between the lead architect, directive mindset, and the senior developer, agile mindset. Okay, regarding the definition of done for the upcoming release, the architect insists on a full documentation sign off before code release, while the developer argues this violates agile principles. Right, the argument has persisted for 2 sprints, affecting team morale. As a servant leader, what is your best course of action? So here it's a hybrid initiative, retrospective agreement happened between the lead architect who has a predictive mindset, which is your waterfall, and the senior developer has a agile mindset. Okay. Regarding definition of done, okay, for the upcoming release, the architect insists on a full documentation sign off. Full documentation can be done only on a waterfall uh, project, while the developer argues this violates agile principles. So ideally, he says you have to break it down into several requirements. This the argument has persisted. Okay, the problem here is 2 sprints, team morale. Okay, exercise option A is exercise your authority to define a hybrid policy that mandates documentation only for regulatory compliance features, thereby imposing a compromise to move the team forward. This doesn't seem a good option.
Hmm.
You
Keep on
cannot
going. Keep on going.
you cannot force anyone. Facilitate a dedicated workshop where both the parties articulate their underlying fears, compliance risk versus velocity reduction, okay, and guide the team to co-create a working agreement that satisfies both constraints. Privately meet with the functional manager or of the architect to discuss their inability to adapt to hybrid method and request a resource with more other experience. No, allow the conflict to continue during the retrospective, as self-organizing teams must navigate the storming phase without external interference to reach performing. Here, I see B as the correct option. Reason being is that other options are stating that, D stating just let it continue. C stating something in private, which is not ideally the right approach for the project manager. A says that you have to impose your authority, which again is not a right approach if you go for a hybrid project. B works here in this particular scenario.
Okay. Perfect. And that's the correct answer. Okay. So you can see the correct answer is B. But let's kind of deep dive whenever you have these kind of questions. Okay. So always try and look through what is the key issue here. Okay. So for example, you will always have a bit of a history. Now sometimes history will be something like this. Okay. Given to you in big paragraph. Okay.
Right.
Sometimes things might be as big as this.
Hmm.
However, what you need to understand is what is the key challenge. The key challenge is, in simple terms, there is an argument. It has continued for some time, and it is affecting the team morale. Okay, that's your key issue here. Okay, and what is the role that you're playing? You're playing a servant leader role here. Okay, you see this? It's a servant leader role.
Right.
Now, the moment you get into servant leader, you have to look into certain keywords. Okay. So one of the keywords is what you have over here is facilitate.
Yes.
Okay. The second one is workshop. Okay.
Right.
Got it? Co-create. Okay.
Correct. Right.
Satisfies both constraints.
Yes.
So always try and look into those kind of things, because that what that will do is that will help you quickly go through it. Okay. So yes, and all the others, right? So for example, let's go from bottom to up. Allow the conflict to continue. Okay, this any conflict to continue which has a direct impact on the team morale is wrong thing to do. Okay, there's already a team morale impact. Saying
Correct.
that no, no, these are self-organizing teams, so let them navigate storming. Absolutely rubbish. Okay, absolutely rubbish. So this goes on. Privately meet the function manager of the architect. Okay, why just architect?
Right. Should
Why
have both.
not why not the developer as well?
Yes.
Why are you singling out one person? You are a servant leader, right? You cannot single out any person. So that itself is wrong. Now, I'm not saying that we should not have escalations, but whenever you see an answer which is more towards singling out a particular person when there are more than one people in the conflict, wrong way to do about it. Okay. And then exercise your authority again, right? See, what is the question over here as a servant leader, right?
Mm.
The
Correct.
exact of servant leader is authoritative leader. The moment you see the word authority and servant leader, they are polar
Doesn't.
opposites. So you're definitely gonna scratch this out. Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
So over here, right, Tarun, what you did was you kind of went through the entire question. Okay. Now, one of the reading methodologies that you went through was you started deliberating a lot in this particular phase. Okay. Reading this particular set of the question.
Mm.
Okay. What I would request you to do is the next question that I bring up, read the last portion first,
Okay.
look at the responses, and then go to the top. Okay.
Okay.
I'm not
Okay.
saying that one methodology is better, one methodology is bad. Every person is having a different perspective around how they use the methodologies. I just want you to experience those, okay, so that you know which might work in which situation for you. Okay. There is
Yes.
no methodology that is perfect. Let me clearly tell you that. Okay. But
Right.
next question, you're going to read the bottom part first, look at the options, and then you're going to go on the top. Okay.
Done.
Cool.
Yep.
This will also help you, especially in the situations wherein you're short on time. Okay, that's the reason I want you to experiment that. Okay,
Sure.
again,
Sure.
this is a safe environment, right? We can't do
Yes.
these experiments in the in the exam.
Exam. No.
So
Yeah.
let's go on to question number two.
Okay. Uh, like from your right, what is the immediate next step for the
Hmm,
project manager?
hmm,
Reference the team charter's ground rules regarding respectful communication and ask the team to refocus on specific association with the API. End the meeting immediately to prevent further escalation and schedule separate one-on-one meetings with Sarah and Mike to mediate the personal conflict. Ask the rest of the team to vote on whether Sarah's risk is valid. We personalize the decision-making process. Document the behavioral infraction in the issue log and warn both members that further outbursts will result in a formal report to HR.
okay, now take a quick stop over here. There are certain answers that you might feel are outrightly too harsh. Okay, now don't immediately pick the answers. Now go on the top. Okay, read the question now entirely.
Two high performing team members, Sarah and Mike, have a history of personal animosity. During a risk assessment meeting, Mike dismisses Sarah's technical concern regarding a third party API as paranoia. Sarah retaliates by criticizing Mike's code quality from the previous sprint. The room falls silent. What is the immediate next step for the project manager? Now I should read the answers again, right?
Yes.
Reference the team members' charters ground rules regarding respectful communication and ask the team to refocus on specific risk associated with the API. I think here they are diverting. I mean, what the actual issue is, what they are doing, they are just, diverting that communication. So for now, I guess A will be the answer
Mm-hmm.
and go to B. End the meeting immediately to prevent further escalation. No, I'm running away. I'm showing my back. This is not the right answer as the manager.
Mm-hmm.
C. Ask the rest of the team to vote on whether Sarah's risk. No. This should be within the room, within three of us. So again, not a good option. Document the behavioral infraction in the issue log and warn both members that further outbursts will result in a formal report to HR. No.
Yes. So the thought process is exactly right. So what do we have over here? Okay. In agile, right? You have a concept called a team charter. Okay. Primarily, what the team charter focus on is basically the ground rules. Okay. Ground rules are a lot of things. Okay. How are we going to attend the meeting? What are the points we are going to discuss? How are we going to minute it? How are we going to ensure that there is a respectful communication? How are we going to handle conflicts? Okay. And so on. The list is simple terms. Team charter is how is the team going to behave? Okay.
Yes. Right.
Simplistic way of looking at it. Okay. Now, what we are saying is, yeah, two high performing members. Okay. And let's say they've got some kind of a personal history in the past, okay, wherein they don't like each other, okay, and they have started criticizing each other in the meeting, which is diverting the entire focus of the meeting. Okay, you see the room falls silent. Okay, it's going into a direction which is not going to benefit anyone. Okay, so
Right.
what do we do in that case? Let's go bottom to up again. Document the behavioral infraction. Okay, right, they disagreeing with each other because of personal animosity, you can do that, but it's not going. See, here's the thing, right? They are not harming each other as of yet.
Right.
Okay, let's just say that if they get into abusive language, okay,
Mm.
or
Mm.
unprofessional conduct, okay,
Mm. Mm.
then definitely you need to get HR involved. Has that
Yes.
happened over here? No.
No.
Not required that everyone in the team are going to like each other. Okay, so perfectly wrong answer. Asking the team to vote is okay, you guys keep on fighting, I'm going to go with majority. That means you're shunning off your responsibility. It doesn't work. Okay, that's wrong either. Oops, sorry. Ending the meeting. Okay, again, what are we trying to do? Okay, by ending the meeting and scheduling separate one on one, okay, and looking into mediating the conflict. But again, right, is that going to help you kind of
Mm.
close your sprint assessment, risk assessment?
No.
Not necessarily. And are we saying that people are going to be available later on? Not necessary, right? So yes, the correct answer is A. Okay.
Right.
Now, Tarun, what you have experienced is you have experienced two ways around how you have read the questions.
Right.
Okay. Now, start alternating, start seeing what works best for you. Okay.
Okay.
Now, I'm moving into question number three.
Okay. You're managing a construction project. A sudden safety inspection has revealed a critical structural flaw that poses an immediate threat to worker safety. The team is paralyzed by the news, and the site foreman is unsure how to proceed. Although you generally practice a servant leadership style, what is the most appropriate leadership approach in this specific moment? Right, is fair. Allow the foreman and the team to determine the best safety protocols as they are technical experts on the ground. Democratic. Call an emergency all hands meeting to brainstorm solutions and vote on the safest way to evacuate and remediate the structure. Directive. Issue clear immediate instructions to evacuate the site and suspend all work until a safety mitigation plan is approved. Transactional. Offer a safety bonus to the team. Okay. If they can resolve the structural flaw within 24 hours. No. Transactional is not safe for the employees. I mean, we are offering a safety bonus, which doesn't solve the purpose. Directive, cite and suspend all. Directive is one response which the project manager can take here because it is regarding the safety of the workers. Here, we should stop the work immediately. Democratic, call an emergency, all hands. No, we are wasting time. We need to get to a solution. We cannot schedule a meeting and then brainstorm. And option A, Allow the site foreman and the team to determine. No, they can determine. They are there to work. I guess answer is C here, directive.
Perfect. Okay, and couple of things you need to be mindful of over here. Okay, here's the keyword. So immediate threat to worker safety. The moment you see the word safety, you're no longer talking about let's collaborate, let's brainstorm.
Hmm.
Okay, all those things are gone. Okay, inspection has revealed, as you can see over here, it's an inspection, and what has that done? It has revealed there is no threat over here, it is already an issue.
Yes.
Although it says immediate threat over here, there is a critical structural flaw. Okay, there's a threat on the worker safety, so you're not gonna sit and gonna say okay fine, you guys figure it out and let me know. That's laissez-faire. Wrong. Okay, democratic. Call an emergency all hands brainstorming solutions. Okay, you can call emergency all hands, but solutions at this stage, worker safety, not necessarily the best option. Directive, yes, immediately evacuate. We don't want to kind of have situations of loss of or other threat on worker safety.
Right.
Transactional, well, okay, let me give them a bonus. Okay, doesn't work that way. Okay, now let me kind of twist this answer a bit. Okay, so let's say a sudden safety inspection has revealed a instead of critical potential.
Okay.
Okay, that may
Change the answer.
possess a, I'm removing the word immediate, threat to worker safety. Now what would be your answer?
D will not be an answer for sure. Uh, Option B, call an emergency all hands meeting to brainstorm solutions and vote on the safest way to evacuate. B will be the answer here as a solution. Allow the site foreman and the team to determine. No, they can't do anything there. B will be the answer then.
B will be the answer. So you're able to see, right, how few words when you change in the question, the answer choice itself will kind of fluctuate.
Right.
Okay, so you'll have to hence read through each and every of those words. Okay, and this is the time, right, you need to be mindful that if you hurry, you might actually choose up the wrong answer. Okay, perfect. Let's go to question 4.
Okay. Your agile team includes a 10 engineers who completes 40% of the sprint backlog. Okay. 10 engineers who completes 40% of the sprint backlog alone, but refuses to attend daily stand-ups, calling them a waste of time. This behavior is demoralizing the rest of the team who feel their contributions are undervalued. As a servant leader, how should you handle this? Okay. You'll say it's included 10x engineer, right? Means he's the agile team includes a 10x engineer.
So
That
10x engineer in this terms, so 10x is more of a bookish methodology,
okay.
wherein you have a team member who's extremely smart and he can he delivers high quality work. Okay, now what will happen with some of these kind of members? They believe that okay, I don't want distractions, I don't want to collaborate with people, because if I collaborate with people, I have to waste my time explaining things to them which they should know as part of their job. Why should I be doing their job for them? They need to know they are getting equally paid, blah blah blah, various things, right?
Hmm, hmm.
Why should I be doing their job? They should be doing their job. I'm going to focus on my job, and I'm a fantastic team member. I'm going to deliver my best. Okay, and why should I come into stand-ups? Because I'm not here to listen to their unnecessary conversations on how they cannot manage their work. Okay, then why should I be there? Okay, and
Understood. Yeah.
this behavior is demoralizing the rest of the team.
Okay.
Got it?
Okay. Option A is accommodate the engineer's preference by allowing them to send email updates instead of attending stand-ups, ensuring their high productivity continues. Privately coach the engineer on the value of whole team ownership and the impact of their withdrawal on team morale while reinforcing the ground rules. Publicly praise the engineer's velocity during the sprint review to motivate the other team members to improve their skills. Remove the engineer from the team immediately to preserve the team's cultural cohesion, accepting the temporary drop in velocity. D is not an answer for sure. It's a
Mhm.
negative based scenario. C is also not right answer because you cannot, because the team already demoralized. You cannot, you know,
Mhm.
praise that engineer that he's only working. Rest all team members might get more demoralized.
And
Private.
this will also, C will also give a message to the other team members, no matter how good they do,
Hmm,
the manager is only, or in this case the servant leader is only going to praise this
the
guy.
engineer.
Okay. So and this happens in real life also, right, Tarun? And
Yes.
this is particularly the performance discussion sessions, wherein you might have had a fantastic year, you might have had a extremely good kind of a stakeholder feedbacks and everything, but the management, they would have decided somewhere 2 or 3 months back that they've already chosen to whom they are going to give a high performance. Okay. So you should, as a servant leader, you should, doesn't matter whether your management or others behave in that way or not, but as a servant leader, you should not give an indication that, first of all, you should not even have a preference of one team member over the other. Okay, because that itself sets an unconscious bias in your mind. Now, let's say you don't even have that. Okay, the subconscious bias. Now, the main thing over here, praising one team member, the same team member who everyone dislikes, and is having a demoralizing effect on the team because of a behavior that you expect everyone in the team to do. Okay, giving a public praise, that means you're not walking the talk.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So C is definitely wrong. Yep. Mhm.
B, privately quotes the engineer on the value of whole team ownership and the impact of their withdrawal on team morale while reinforcing the ground rules. Accommodate the engineer's preference by allowing them to send no. Answer is B here because somewhere or the other team members are willing to join the call. Only
Mm,
this particular person is not, you know, he is not joining the call. So
mm,
I guess privately coaching the engineer on the value of
mm,
whole team ownership and the impact of their withdrawal. Like he's trying to explain what
mhm.
if the other team members, they stop performing. So in that way, the entire team's work will come at a backseat.
Absolutely. Okay. Spot on this one. So this is correct. Okay. So when you really look into it, yes, servant leaders, we are going to focus on the health of the team. Okay. This is a hero behavior. That means I know everything. No one else is better than me is not something that's going to work out better in the long run for the team member as well. Okay. And hence the
Right.
coaching, mentoring, and other things are required so that things could be adjusted accordingly. Okay.
Right.
Cool.
Yes. Yes.
Question 5.
If you manage a virtual team across three time zones, you notice that one team member, Raj, consistently keeps his camera off, contributes minimally during meetings, and his deliverables are frequently late. When asked, he says he's fine. What is the most effective way to support his performance? Implement a mandatory cameras on policy for all meetings to ensure engagement and accountability for all team members. Okay. Schedule a private, empathetic conversation to explore potential barriers to performance using open ended questions rather than focusing solely on metrics. Reassign Raj's critical tasks to more reliable team member to protect the project schedule while monitoring Raj's performance for another month. Initiate a formal performance improvement plan (PIP) involving HR to document the lack of engagement and set strict deadlines. D is too harsh. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
so this doesn't look like an answer. Reassign Raj for critical task is again that it is showing I don't have faith in Raj and I'm giving his work to someone else. Not an
Mm-hmm.
answer.
Mm-hmm.
Schedule a private, empathetic conversation to explore potential barriers. This could be a solution here because possibly due to time zone, he's not able. He might be facing some issues, and I should understand what is causing this behavior and the delay in work. A again, it's like because of one person, I'm just asking everyone to. I'm forcing implementing like implement a mandatory cameras on. It's like forcing everyone to do this just because one person is not up to the mark. So answer here is B as per my understanding.
Perfect. And that's correct. Okay. And it's simple terms, right? Before you jump into kind of taking any action, first thing is always you have to understand. Okay. Just
Okay.
saying that, okay, I'm going to take an immediate action. No. So you need to understand. So whenever you're answering these kind of questions, right? Okay. What you need to base on over here is most effective way to support his performance.
Hmm.
Okay. What you're trying to do is you need to put yourself in his shoes to understand what exactly is happening. So probably it might be a situation wherein, okay, he could have network issues. Could be the one. Okay,
Hmm.
wherein if he switches on camera, it kind of takes away his bandwidth and disconnects him. Okay.
Right.
Now there could be those things over here. Now publicly naming, shaming, reassigning task and all those things are pretty much things which will come afterwards. Publicly naming, shaming should never be done. Okay.
Right.
So for example, putting pip, hold on. First understand what's happening,
Hmm.
then you can go ahead and put pip. Okay. It's saying that
Okay.
yes, are frequently late. We understand that. But let's first understand before we take that action. Reassigning the task, yes, this could happen. Okay, let's just say this was a 2 weeks issue wherein he's not been able to perform. Okay,
Hmm.
and let's say the third week he's performing better than anyone else. So going ahead and reassigning the task, first of all, do you even have members who can take up his task?
Right.
Let's say he is a specialist. Okay, no one else can take the task. So lot of assumptions need to kind of go in here, and implementing a mandatory cameras on. Now, this mandatory cameras on, you can only put that kind of situation when you're working on a project which demands that to be one of the team's behavior.
Right.
Okay. So, for example, in PMP, there is something called as fishbowl. Okay.
Hmm.
Wherein a camera will constantly be on.
Hmm.
Okay. If that is something that is mandated as per the project charter, then you will have to do it. But that's not
Right.
something that's mentioned anywhere here.
Hmm.
Okay, so definitely not the best choice for this one. Okay, cool. Let's go on to question 6.
Okay. Your project sponsor, deeply invested in the product's success, has started attending your team's daily scrums. During these 15-minute meetings, the sponsor interrupts developers to ask detailed status questions and assigns new tasks directly. The team is becoming silent and defensive. What should you do? Change the time of the daily scrum without informing the sponsor to allow the team to meet in private? No. Uh, every stakeholder is supposed to join the scrum call, which is a 15 minutes call daily. Allow the sponsor to continue as they pay for the project and have the right to direct the work to ensure delivery by delivery. Okay. Meet with the sponsor privately to explain the purpose of the daily scrum as a synchronization event for the team and offer a separate regular forum for status updates. Empower the team to confront the sponsor during the next meeting and enforce the rule that chickens, observers cannot speak. No. C is the answer here because somewhere or the other he might not know what the scrum exactly is for. We will have to meet him in private and explain what is the purpose of
Mm.
this. And secondly, if he has any doubts or open points, he can discuss it after the status call.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay. And that's how scrums normally work, right? And right, scrums will also have the various boards in there which will give the status around how things are happening. So you could also say that, okay, fine, can you look into the board? Okay, wherein we are putting in all the details around it. So he can look into the board if there is a specific kind of a status update format that the sponsors have. We can provide that separately as well. So it's just that first of all, daily scrum is only for 15 minutes. Okay. And normally the project sponsors won't be even part of that daily scrums. Okay, but that doesn't mean that they cannot join in. If they
Yes.
wish, they can definitely join in, but the point over here is they cannot change the purpose of what the daily scrum is for.
Right.
Okay, so they cannot change the purpose of it. Purpose still remains. Yes, we are trying to find out any impediments, ask our quick check around where we were and where we are going to go today. Okay, as simple as that. So yes, politely we can help the sponsor to get what the sponsor wants, and yet support the team to kind of get over their impediments. Okay, cool, and shield
Yes.
the team scenario. Got it? Okay, perfect. Question 7.
Okay. I will change the approach this time. I'll go with the
Mm-hmm.
last first.
Mm-hmm.
What is the servant leader's best approach?
Mm.
Assign the automation work to the developers to ensure the sprint goal is met while the testers continue with the manual testing. Create a spike research task for the team to research automation tools during the sprint. Facilitate pair programming sessions where developers and testers work together on automation tasks to transfer skills, cross training while delivering value. Half the sprint, halt the sprint and send the testers to a formal 1 week automation training course. An organization is transitioning from component teams, specialists, to feature teams, generalist. Okay, okay. During sprint planning, the testing specialist complain they cannot commit to user stories because they do not know how to write automated test scripts, a task previously done by separate automation team. What is the servant leader's best approach? Halt the sprint and send the testers for a formal training? No, the work will get impacted. Not a
Mm-hmm.
viable option here.
Mm-hmm.
We facilitate pair programming sessions where developers and testers work together on automation tasks. This can be a good option. Reason
Mm-hmm.
being, whatever work is being done, I guess pair programming is where both the teams work together, piece
Hmm.
by piece. One does like a maker work, second does checker work, maker checker. I guess this is the right solution. Create
Mm-hmm.
spike research task for the team to research automation. No, we don't have that kind of time to research automation tools during the sprint. This will waste our time. Assign the automation work to developers to ensure the sprint goal is met while the testers continue with manual testing. No, doesn't solve the purpose.
Okay.
C,
Mm-hmm.
C is the answer.
C is the answer. Perfect. Okay. Now, one thing that I want you to kind of understand around Spike, okay, that's the reason I had got this one here, is for technical unknowns, not for skill gaps.
Hmm.
Why would you have Spike? Because you don't know something around technology and you need to get some technology experts to kind of come in over here. Here it is a skill gap. The moment it comes down to skill gap, primarily what you're doing is you're saying that, okay, fine, let's find out anything which says around training.
Okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
Because what they are saying over here, complain they cannot commit to user because they do not know. Okay, had they known, they would have been able to do it. And how do people know it? People will know it by doing some trainings. Simple as that. Okay, got it?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, let's go to question 8.
You have taken over a virtual project team that is reportedly performing well. However, during meetings, there is zero debate. Proposals are accepted immediately with silence. Cameras are always off. You suspect the team is in a state of artificial harmony. Which action would best move the team forward, team toward genuine high performance? Implement a strict camera on policy to force visual engagement. Conduct a pre-mortem exercise where the team is asked to imagine the project has failed, okay, and brainstorm solutions, encouraging them to voice hidden risks. All right. Accept the current state as lack of conflict indicates team has successfully reached the norming or performing stage. Schedule a mandatory virtual happy tour to force social interaction. D is a happy scenario, but not a good option here. Being a project manager,
Mm-hmm.
C, accept the current state. I can't accept what is going on. Some way or the other, I need to take an action. So B, conduct a pre-mortem exercise where the team is asked to imagine. So here what is happening is team is accepting whatever is been given to them. They are not thinking about what worst scenarios can happen here. Plus, what will happen is during this kind of interaction and brainstorming sessions, they can voice out. I mean, in case they have something on their minds, they can speak it out. B is the answer. And A again is implement a strict camera. No, I can't impose unless and until it is there in the project charter.
Absolutely. So, and that's the correct answer, right? What we are saying over here is the forming, norming, storming, performing, everything, right? Let's leave that aside. What is, in simple terms, what is happening is, as a project manager, you're suspecting that people are just nodding, okay, or just agreeing. So this may be a kind of an artificial harmony wherein people are saying that, okay, you do whatever you want, I'll do whatever I want. You will not object me, I'll not object you. Let's get on with the job. Okay. Now, obviously, if there are experts, this might work, but then it also creates a big challenge wherein people might be so tunnel visioned around the work that they are doing, they might forget about the interrelationships of the work that is there with the others. Okay. They may
Right.
not be able to see the overall risk. Now,
Hmm.
for them to kind of really realize that there is a world wherein their actions might have consequences on someone else's work and so on, it's important that we get them to kind of sit on a table, have those discussions. And
Hmm.
yes, this is one of the good ways around doing it. Okay, we can ask them to imagine a situation and let them voice it out. Okay, that ways you can get more kind of a collaboration from them.
Right.
Okay, cool,
Right. Yes.
perfect. 9.
Your agile team is consistently missing sprint goals. Okay. In the retrospective, developers reveal that their functional managers are assigning them 20% side work on legacy maintenance, despite a previous agreement for 100% allocation. Developers reveal that their functional managers are assigning them 20% side work. Okay. The product owner is furious about the missed features. What should you do? Okay. Coach the team to say no to their function managers and prioritize the sprint backlog. Okay. Meet with the function managers to enforce the resource agreement and explain the cost of context switching on the project's velocity. Ask the product owner to add the legacy maintenance work to the product backlog so it can be prioritized and visualized. Extend the sprint length from 2 weeks to 3 weeks to account for the reduced capacity. No, D is not the answer. Extending the sprint will not work because
Mm-hmm.
problem is with the allocation and not the time period. Ask the
Mm-hmm.
product owner to add the legacy maintenance work with the product backlog. Right. So possibly this has not been there in the backlog and team is investing their time in the actual work plus the side work, which is like the legacy maintenance work, and thus the delay in the deliverables. C is
Mm-hmm.
the answer. I'll go to the B once again. Meet with the function manager to enforce the resource agreement. No, no, this is not solving the purpose. Coach the team to say no to their function managers. No, they cannot do that. C is the answer here.
I would want you to again think about B and C.
Okay. Functional teams consistently missing sprint goals. Okay. The retrospective, developers reveal that functional managers are reassigning 20% side work on legacy maintenance. despite a previous agreement for 100% allocation. The product owner is furious about the missed features. What should you do? The functional manager to enforce the resource agreement and explain the cost of context switching on the project's velocity. Okay, context switching. I guess the hint is here. Why did I choose C? Ask the owner to add the legacy maintenance work to the backlog so it can be prioritized and visualized. But this part, meet with the functional in B, meet with the functional managers to enforce the resource agreement. I was able to partially get this, but yes, explain the cost of context switching. This hints towards the answer.
Mm-hmm. Got it. That's why I said have a
Yes.
look. Have a look over here.
Impediment is external, organizational. The PM Scrum Master must act as a shield. The team often lacks the political capital to defy their functional bosses, to control their reviews. The PM must negotiate at the organizational level to remove the blocker.
Got it.
Oh, yes,
Okay. So that's the reason I said don't hurry. Okay. Normally, your product backlog, even if you put in the product backlog, right? Yes, it will help you decide on, or rather, the product owner will sit and decide on how it has to be done. But that's not going to stop the function manager.
mm,
Okay. So what you need to do is you need to address the problem is where is the problem in the product backlog or is a problem with the function manager?
understood. So here the issue was with the functional manager and not the backlog.
Exactly. Had it been a problem that okay they have picked up the wrong priority from the backlog, then we would talk about product backlog. Here, the problem is not with the product backlog.
Correct.
Problem is the
Understood.
function manager. Got it? Okay, cool. Question 10. And this will be the last for today. I'll have to wrap up.
Okay, sure.
Mhm.
A key vendor is refusing to release a critical component, claiming that your team's requirements were vague and resulted in scope creep. Okay, and they haven't been paid for. Your technical lead argues the vendor simply misunderstood the clear requirements. The project is at a standstill. What is the best conflict resolution strategy? Force threaten legal action based on the penalty clauses in the contract to compel the vendor to deliver. Avoid. Ask the internal team to build a workaround solution to bypass the vendor entirely, like an in-house thing. Okay. Collaborate. Schedule a joint workshop to review the requirements, traceability matrix against the deliverables, and negotiate a fair settlement for any genuine ambiguity. Compromise. Offer to pay 50% of the disputed amount immediately to get the component released. No. And A and D is not the answer.
Mhm.
B is not an answer as well because ask the internal team to build a workaround solution because they already have done the work with the vendor. Now I can't expect them to build a in-house kind of a solution to bypass the
Mhm.
vendor. That will take
Mhm.
time. Collaborate is the right answer because somewhere where is the gap? I'll be able to understand only once I have a joint workshop, review all the requirements, go back to the traceability matrix and understand which requirement was raised by which stakeholder, and accordingly I'll be able to find out whether it is a gap at our end or the vendor's end, and accordingly we should settle it down.
Absolutely. Okay. See, unless this particular question, right? Okay. Let's say in this way. So, team requirements were vague and resulted in scrutiny, and they haven't been paid for. Your technical lead argues The vendor simply misunderstood the requirements. Okay, now let's just say, even if this entire sentence is not there,
Hmm.
okay, I've just removed this entire sentence.
Okay.
Will your answer change?
Uh, okay. Were vague and resulted in scope creep that they haven't paid for. The project is at a standstill. What is the best conflict of strategy? Team's requirements were vague. So your scope creep has happened and they haven't been paid for. Force certain legal action based on the penalty clauses in the contract to compel the vendor to deliver. No. Avoid. Ask the internal team to build a workaround. No, it wouldn't change. I would still collaborate and understand.
Absolutely. So you're understanding over here, right? The key theme whenever you have disagreements, okay,
Mm,
irrespective of how harsh those disagreements are within the team or with the team and the vendor, first thing first is you need to have a meeting together to understand what has really happened.
mm,
Okay, meetings might also lead into workshops, brainstorming sessions, okay, various ways around how further extensions can happen, right? Around how we kind of understand things, okay,
right.
surveys, lot of things, okay, to get to the overall perspective of it. Okay, so yes, so that's is the correct answer. Okay, collaboration is always a win-win, and hence you're going to get the disputing parties together to have that conversation. Okay, cool,
Right. Yes.
awesome. Okay, stopping the sharing now. So perfect and cool. That's all we had for today. Let me wrap this up. Okay, I'll put this video also and share you the link so that you can kind of go through it. Okay, and let me, yeah, message me what your availability looks like, and then if I'm available tomorrow, we'll have one more tomorrow. Otherwise, we'll have it for next week. Okay,
Sure.
cool,
Sure.
sure.
Yes.
And
Amandeep,
yeah,
just one thing. Sorry. So for now, I should still go to the videos and complete that, or I should,
so have
oh,
you started looking into study hall yet or not yet?
no, study hall. I haven't bought it yet.
Okay, I think you should now kick off study hall. Okay,
Acha,
you should
directly.
now, yeah, you should now start off study hall. Go with the basic package. You don't need to go with the advanced package.
Okay.
Basic package is what I had used, and that is more than sufficient. You start off with that.
Okay.
Okay, and one thing about study hall that I would recommend everyone is, please do not get too hung up stating that, oh my god, these are so difficult questions and this and that. No, think about what the methodology is. Think about the steps that you're taking to answer those questions. That's what you need to focus on. Okay, so, and also one thing that once you're going through the study hall, or let's say you have any other doubts, you drop me a message. I'll try to bring up some questions around it so that when you're reading, when you're understanding, it will help you kind of solidify your thought process. Okay,
Okay.
so right now, uh, for this session, I had 20 questions, but I had already mentioned to you at the beginning that we are not going to rush through because point
Right.
is to understand. Okay,
Yes.
so I've still
Yes.
got remaining 10 questions to cover on this, but you you start kick off. You let me know what other topics you want to cover, and basis that I'll try to get some more questions in, so that we can
Sure.
make it easier for you. Got it?
Sure. One
Okay.
second. My screen just went off. Sorry.
No, no worries, no worries. Okay, cool. So you let
Yes.
me know your availability for tomorrow. If I'm available, we'll have a catch up. Otherwise, we'll catch up next week. Okay, cool.
Tomorrow morning also 11 works for me. Like in case I'm available, ho to best. If not, then
I'll let you know. Because I've been now requested to have some more additional sessions on PGMP.
okay.
So I need to kind of focus my energy on that also. And considering there are only 2 days
Okay.
of weekends, there are family chores that I also need to kind of get through, right? So
No
yeah,
problem.
yeah, drop me a message around any of the other topics you want to cover, and if I'm available, I'll let you know by evening today whether I'll be available tomorrow 11. Okay, cool.
Sure. Works. Yes.
Okay. Okay
Thank you,
then.
Aman. Thank you for your
Thank
time.
you. Bye.